I want to talk about two different principles of art and design on this page. The first one is emphasis. It is the main idea. It's what grabs your attention. And then there's something called the focal point. That's the part of an artwork that has an interest or is attention centered. It's what your eye looks at first when you look at an artwork. And then I want to talk about contrast. Contrast is the differences between the elements of the art. So there's a lot of ways to create contrast and emphasis. And below are just a couple of them. So you could do it with size, and that's where you change the size of one object and make something really big or really small. You can do it with location, and that's where you make one object away from the rest to make it stand out. Or color, and that's where you change the color of the value in a small area to make a focal point. Or you could do it with shape, and that's to adjust the shape to make the items have emphasis. So maybe one is really big or one is really small compared to the rest. So what I want you to do below here is I want you to label the ways it shows emphasis and contrast. And it's either going to be size, location, color, or shape, but there are many other ways to do this. For example, contrast, you could have contrasting textures or contrasting values, just for an example. So let's look at these. How do you think this one shows some emphasis or contrast? Where does your eye look at right away, and what is different and stands out? Well, I hope you said that this one is the shape. So the shape of this, the triangle, really makes my eye go to it right away, and it really stands out. How about this one? What is the emphasis or the contrast in here? Well, I hope you say location on this one. That square all the way over there, it really makes your eye go to it. It's almost like it's pointing to it. And in this one, well, this one I would say it's color or value because this is black and white. So this is color because my eye automatically goes to that lighter square on there. And this last one, what do you think the emphasis or the contrast is on this one? This one is size. Well done. And then let's see if you can answer this one. Circle the two answers that show contrast. What are the two answers? Hard textures and soft textures, a white snowman on a white background, or a big tree and a small tree. Which one show contrast? Let's think for a second. Which two make the other stand out? I would go with A, hard textures and soft textures, and a big tree and a small tree. Well done. And the last thing I just want to mention is movement. And movement is another principle of art, and that's a way of combining elements of art to produce the look of the action. So it makes it look like something is moving. Lines can create movement, and you can usually repeat it to help show movement. So I hope you learned a little bit more about some of the ways you can use the elements of the art with these principles of art.